What's up, guys? Welcome back to another episode of Tax Free Living, where I teach entrepreneurs just like you how to live tax free. I'm happy about today's episode because this is one that you all have been asking for. Like, you all have been in the comments and in my DMs begging me to do this episode, and here I am going to do it because I'm the man of the people, right? I'm a man of the people. But before we talk about what today's episode is about, please, if you've been liking this content, if you've been enjoying, if you've been learning, if you've been saving on taxes, which is the ultimate goal for the show, right? If you've been saving on taxes or doing any of these things, please hit that like button, right? Hit that subscribe button that's on the screen, and then share this video with somebody. Like, right? Don't be stingy with information. Like my dog JP says, no stingy energy, right? No stingy energy. If this has been helping you, please share this with someone else. Help them start their journey to tax-free living. Okay, y'all. Let's get into today's episode. And the topic that you all have been begging me to go over is how to get a huge tax refund in 2023. All right, one of my most popular videos on this channel was how I got a $10,000 tax refund and how you can do it too. So if you haven't seen that video yet, it's on the screen now. Please click that link to go and watch that video. I suggest you watch that video first and then come back to this video. That video was going viral, was doing numbers. So I wanted to expound upon that video by teaching you all how you can get a huge tax refund in 2023. Before we can get into the details of how to get a huge refund, let me first, right, let you all know what the best refund possible you can get, right? And I never forget this. I was, for those of you that don't know, I study accounting in one of the top universities in the world, if I may say so myself. The University of Illinois has the number 2 or number 3 accounting program in the United States. So I studied at the University of Illinois, and the first class I had in my master's program year was Mastery of Taxation. And the first day of class, the professor went to the front of the class and asked us a very important question, which I thought I had the answer to. He said, "Hey guys, before we start class, I want to ask you all a question. What is the absolute best tax refund that you all can receive?" And again, for me, I was raised in a household where we depended on our tax refund. We depended on our tax refund to pay bills. We sometimes depended on our tax refund to pay for Christmas presents. Like, that's how bad it got at certain times. I was taught the bigger the tax refund, the better, because we depended on that as a source of income for our household. When I answered the question, I'm like, 10,000, 20,000, 50,000, like, yo, the more the merrier. And he let everybody answer. Everybody got it wrong. The answer was 0. And I'm like, bro, I don't know who hired this professor, because that cannot be the right answer. But his explanation changed my entire trajectory of understanding how taxes work. The reason why he said the best tax refund you can get is $0 is because all a tax refund is the government giving you back the money that you overpaid them. We gave the government an interest-free loan for 12 months, and they're giving it back to us. So it shifted my perspective of, oh wait, like, instead of looking forward to having a big tax refund, instead I should be finding ways throughout the year, right, to keep that money and invest that money, because I would rather keep it and invest it than giving it to the government for 12 months as an interest-free loan and them giving me my money back. So that is why a $0 tax refund is the best refund you can get. Now, why is it still good to get a big refund? Because here's the thing, some people overpay the government and they never get their money back, right? That's the reality. Some people overpay the government by $10,000, $20,000, $30,000, $50,000 a year, and because they don't know tax strategies, they never get their money back. I don't want that to be you. So today, I'm gonna teach you how to get a huge refund and to get every single dollar that you overpaid to the government first, and then I'm gonna teach you how to keep that money throughout the year later, in the future years, right? So let's talk about it. What is one of the best strategies that we can do to get a large refund? If you want to win the game of taxes, you have to be on the right team. And the tax code was created to benefit entrepreneurs and investors. And the reason why is because as an entrepreneur, I create jobs. For every job that I create, that's one less job that the government has to create. So I'm doing their job for them. And because I'm doing their job for them, they're going to give me massive tax breaks, right? I'm also an investor. I invest in real estate. Because every dollar that I invest into the economy is one less dollar that the government has to print. So the reality is middle income and high income W-2 earners pay the most money in taxes every single year. So if you're a middle income or high income W-2 earner, or if you're a W-2 earner in period, I'm going to teach you strategies on how to get a large refund. And if you're a business owner, I'm still going to give you strategies on how to get a large refund. So step number one, let's talk about W-2 employees. If you're a W-2 earner, you do not get the same tax deduction benefits as business owners. If you're a W-2 earner and you're using your phone for work and you're using your car for work, you can't write those expenses off on your taxes. But if I'm a business owner and I use my cell phone for work, I get to write off my taxes. I use my car for work, I get to write off a portion of my automobile expenses on my taxes. And I'm traveling for business, I get to write off the flights, the hotel, and the lodging for that business trip. It's tax deductible to me. So business owners get tax deductions that W-2 earners don't. So if you're a W-2 earner, what strategies can you use to get the same tax advantages as business owners? If you're a W-2 earner, what can you do? One of the best things that you can do is to turn your hobby into a side hustle. I'm gonna say that again for the people in the back. If you're a W-2 earner, one of the best things that you can do is turn your hobby into a business. Start monetizing your skills and the things that you're good at. So, for example, if you are a W-2 worker, but you love to travel, right? You're always spending money on traveling to different cities, states, and countries. My advice to you would be to start a travel blog. Now, Carter, why would I want to start a travel blog? Because if you start a travel blog and you can prove that within this blog, you're doing everything in your power to monetize it, right? If you can prove that your actions are to try to monetize this business and they're trying to earn a side income from this business, that means that any expense, according to IRS code section 162A, any expense that is ordinary and necessary for you to operate that business is a tax deductible expense to you. So let's go through an example. Let's say that I'm a W-2 earner and I love to travel, so I start this travel blogging business. Let's say that I travel to Bali, right? If I'm traveling to Bali and when I get to Bali, if I'm recording it, if I'm writing about it, if I'm vlogging about it, if I'm posting it to my website, then those are all ordinary and necessary expenses that I can write off on my taxes. So now I get to write off the flight, I get to write off the hotel I'm at in Bali, I get to write off whatever camera equipment I need to shoot my vlog, right? I get to write off whatever expenses it cost me to start my website, my domain name, all the expenses that's related to my business, I get to write off if my business makes money. If that whole year my business doesn't make money, I still get to write off $5,000 in startup cost. So I still get to write off $5,000 in startup cost. So that's still a $5,000 tax deduction that you get even if your business didn't make any money. But let's say through my blog, through my travel blog, I got a brand partnership for, let's just say $1,000, right? So if I got a brand partnership for $1,000 and I have $20,000 worth of travel and business expenses, my business now took a $19,000 loss. Like, what happens with that loss? Here's the thing I need you all to understand. If you have a W-2 job and your business takes a loss, you get to subtract the losses from your business against the income that you're making in your W-2 job. In your W-2 job, every paycheck you've been paying into the tax system, right? As if you were going to earn $100,000. But really, you only made $81K because you have a $19,000 loss that gets subtracted from this income. So guess what? You've now overpaid the IRS because your business losses lowered your income. And your lower your income, the lower your tax rate. The lower your income plus the lower your tax rate equals a lesser tax bill. You might have paid $25,000 into the tax system, but you might have only needed to pay 10. So now you go get a $15,000 tax refund for the money that you overpaid the IRS. Is this good or is this good? So look, now you still get to keep your hobby because you love what you do. Now you just turned your hobby into a business and you're now able to write off all those expenses that you were incurring anyway because it's something that you love to do. Now here's what I will say. The IRS also has what's called hobby loss rules. Your business can take a loss for 2 years straight, but after that, your business needs to report income or they're gonna consider your business a hobby and no longer allow you to do this. First of all, that's 2 years of thousands of dollars of write-offs that you can take, and then by the third year, make your business profitable. You've been in it for 3 years. right? But this, like, it makes no sense to me. Literally, guys, it makes no sense to me when people have a W-2 job and no side business. It's like you're begging to overpay taxes, right? You're begging to overpay taxes. If you have a W-2 job but no side hustle, you're asking, like, can I please overpay taxes? I think people do it because they just don't have the information, right? Like I tell people all the time, information changes situations. And the most expensive tax that most people pay is not federal tax, it's not state tax, it's not city tax, it's not bag tax, it's not property tax, it's not estate tax. The most expensive tax that most people pay is the ignorance tax, which is the tax for not knowing how to legally and ethically avoid paying taxes. So that's for my W-2 earners, right? That's an easy way for you to save on taxes. If you like this, if that was game, hit like, hit subscribe, and share this video with a friend. Now, my business owners, how can you get a huge refund in 2023? As a business owner, one of the best things that we can do is start to take advantage of tax credits. Tax credits and tax deductions are two very different things, okay? So let me give you an example. A tax deduction is a reduction in your income. So if you get a $50,000 tax deduction, but you're in the 50% tax bracket, you only get a dollar for dollar deduction of $25,000. You have to take your tax deduction times your tax rates. That gives you your actual dollar for dollar tax deduction. But a tax credit is different. A tax credit is a dollar for dollar deduction off the rip. So if you get a $10,000 tax credit, that is a $10,000 reduction to your tax bill. So one of the best things that we can do as business owners is to take advantage of tax credits. There are 3 tax credits that are very important to business owners for 2022 when it comes to planning for 2023 tax preparation. Number 1 is the EV tax credit, the electric vehicle tax credit. If you bought an electric vehicle in 2022, depending on if it was new or used and what type of vehicle it was, you can get a tax credit for that, right? You can get a tax credit for up to $7,500. I know it's a $4,000 tax credit for certain vehicles and a $7,500 tax credit for other vehicles, right? So you get a $4,000 or $7,500 tax credit. That's a dollar for dollar reduction to your tax bill. So if you got an electric vehicle, make sure you don't miss out on the EV tax credit. Second credit I want to talk about is the child tax credit. If you have children and you claim your children on your taxes, you can get a tax credit for doing so. And the child tax credit is a refundable tax credit, which means that if your tax bill was only $100, your child tax credit was $1,500, you would get a $1,400 tax refund because the credit is refundable, right? So this can actually put more money back in your pocket. So don't miss out on the child tax credit. But the biggest tax credit out there for business owners to take for 2022, right, when you're preparing your 2023 tax return, is the ERC credit, the employee retention credit. This is a tax credit for business owners that have retained their employees all through 2022, right? You get a tax credit for keeping your employees through COVID. And this tax credit can add up to tens of thousands of dollars. So if you're a business owner, you need to see if you qualify for the ERC credit. I personally have a relationship with Innovation Refunds. They do a great job of helping you apply, see if you're available for the ERC credit. We're gonna put that link below to Innovation's Refunds so you can work with them to apply and see if you're qualified for this ERC credit. But that's it, guys. Please like this video. Please subscribe to the channel and please share this with somebody. And I'll see you all next time. Peace.